Go check out that Truck and Chub Z, man. The dude is and especially when him and Shad get on there. Him and Shad got a chemistry, bro. It's almost like peaches and herb, bro. They got this thing going. Yeah.
Yo, what up with it? What up with it? I know that's a long ass intro. I know y'all be like, man, damn, man, when you gonna come on? But man, look at man, it's been an interesting week to say the less, to say the least, to say the least, man. But what's up with you, Shad? What's going on, bro? What's going on, man? What's going on with it?
Man, just another day of fighting the good fight, man.
Fighting a good fight. That's all we doing now, Chet. That's all we doing. But man, look at here, man. So we got a nice little lineup for y'all today, man. We're gonna talk a little bit of the NFL draft, what's going on live here. We're gonna talk a little bit about the Devin Haney recap. We're gonna recap that. We're gonna talk about our top 5 Heisman picks and a lot about that stuff. So, without further ado, man, let's just go ahead and get up into the show, man. Let's just go ahead and do this, man. Let's do this. So we get it pulled up right there. Devin Haney versus Ryan Garcia. As we know, I picked wrong. I'm a casual boxing fan. I admit that. We talked about the fight. We seen the fight. We seen the end result. Ryan Garcia winning the fight. I did take Devin Haney in the fight, and I'm gonna give props to Ryan Garcia for taking the fight. To both fighters, because as a fan, I'm still gonna rock out with Haney regardless of a winner or a loss. This is his first loss in 30 something fights. You know what I'm saying? And I believe fans got to stop doing that because that's how careers end. That's how people's, you know what I mean? That not only messes up their money, their careers, everything else, but they pick sides. But but it seems like an MMA fighter, they can have multiple losses and they fan base still rock with them. Like, why is it there? It's like a different standard with an MMA fighter versus a boxer. I'm noticing that and boxing's harder. You only could use your hands. You only could use your hands. You can move with your feet, but you only could throw them arms in them hands. That's all. That's it. You can't kick nobody, can't knee nobody in the balls, can't put nobody in the headlock, jujitsu, back flip behind them, jump on the cage, none of that. You know what I'm saying? You got to stay in the ring, 10 toes down, and fight. Now, I have learned, and my boxing aficionado is not here. Well, the guy that picked right in Cuban Kane. We gotta give it up to him. That's our brother out here, gang, and all that. Picked right, and he definitely said something about the 3 pounds of that Ryan Garcia coming in overweight. If you watch our show, you go back and watch it. He definitely said that without a doubt. 3 pounds overweight's gonna make the difference, and it did. And but nonetheless, He lost a fight now. But we're gonna recap it and I'm gonna let you cook, bro. And then I'll come back in with some more commentary on that.
I mean, hey, I pick wrong. You know,
Mm-hmm.
I in a situation like that, I said that I predicted a late round stoppage for Devin Haney, and I felt like that Devin Haney would have strategically tried to get Ryan Garcia, out of
Right.
it,
Yeah.
which he didn't. He caught Ryan with a nice shot early in the fight. And just from watching the fight, listening to people who have obviously more insight about it than me, was
Mm-hmm.
that one of the things that certain boxers do, and they say that you shouldn't do, is you shouldn't chase a knockout. You gotta let a knockout come to you. And so that was a cardinal sin that Devin Haney made. He was chasing a knockout. A lot of people felt like he was going in there a little bit too emotional because of the way that Ryan Garcia provoked him with some of the things that he said leading up to the fight.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to push back against Cuban Kane about the 3 pounds, because if you look at the scores card, I mean, Devin Haney, aside from the rounds where he got dropped, Devin Haney literally won all of the rounds in the fight. So he outboxed Ryan Garcia. It's just that for whatever reason he he wasn't able to stop that left hook. And post fight, is his dad said that that first left hook that he caught, that kind of
Mm-hmm.
knocked him down. It kind of discombobulated him, kind of for the remainder of the fight. So maybe that was an issue. Well, not maybe, it was an issue, because that's what his dad said, and maybe that could just be an excuse. But in reality, um, nobody knows what Ryan Garcia walked in the ring weighing. Some people said he was as heavy as 180 pounds. Some people said he was 165.
Mm-hmm.
Whatever the situation it was or whatever it is. But I don't think that his weight was that big of a factor in the fight. Now, I know what some people are saying, it was because Devin Haney he cut the weight, and that's wasn't able to rehydrate back up to it. But even still, that would make sense to me. But again, the man, he won every round that he wasn't knocked down. So I feel like if he fought a smarter fight, we wouldn't necessarily be having this conversation. But he
Right.
didn't. He's a young fighter, and young fighters make mistakes. And I think there was a situation where, again, he was chasing a knockout because he found some success early by catching Ryan Garcia with the shot, and he kept looking for that same shot instead of working behind his jab and strategically breaking Ryan Garcia down. And I think if
Mm-hmm.
he would have stuck to that game plan and got the KO later on in the fight, then we're talking again. We're having a different discussion here on Saturday. But unfortunately, he didn't. I don't
Right.
want to take anything away from Ryan Garcia, because he's a big puncher.
Yeah.
He's a big
Yeah.
puncher. So and
Mm-hmm.
I'll close with this. Um, yeah, man, it's sad that if you do catch an L,
Mm-hmm.
you catch an L in the ring, and then you get drugged on social media, and to some fighters they say, well, is it worth the risk? But I will say this though, I do think you do need to go ahead and take an L, because taking L's that has not hurt Canelo Alvarez's career. Ryan Garcia took an L to Tank Davis, and for the most part, no one is even talking about that L he took to Tank Davis. They're talking about what he just did to Devin Haney. So
Mm-hmm.
you can bounce back. It's just that after that L, you need to have a convincing performance against another equal level fighter, and it'll work itself out.
Facts, facts. Good take, bro. Good take, good take. Yeah, man, I agree 100%. Like I think he abandoned the game plan a little bit too. I heard that a lot from boxing experts, I should say. You know what I mean? That they feel like he went into the fight and he abandoned his whole game plan. Like you say, he wasn't boxing the Haney breaking him down. I mean, Garcia breaking Garcia down and letting the knockout come to him. He was chasing it, going to the middle of the ring, and that's not his strong suit. He wasn't moving around enough. using that jab, that speed, the quickness to get away from that. And he tried to stand in there and box him. And a lot of that, I guess, was fanfare. But look, that that's not gonna ever stop me from rooting for Haney in the future. It's not gonna stop me from supporting Haney, and we gotta support our fighters out here because they gave us a big fight. They gave us exactly what we wanted. But I think that this is what some other box, like you said, some other boxers are afraid of is the social media, losing a couple of fans and losing some casuals because they took the L, and you know what I mean. And when you got so many like other boxing channels, oh, Haney just got the ish beat out of him and blah blah blah, and say, and when a casual sees stuff like that, to them it means a lot more. Had I not been doing a little bit of research into boxing and wanting to learn more about it, I'll probably be one of them people thinking like, man, Haney just get, but I know better now to know that you had, what I mean? That's just one fight. And they gave us the fight we wanted. So in closing on this whole situation, like, I hope that we get more fights that we want. Respect to both fighters. And that's not going to ever stop me from supporting Haney, period. Just got to say that. Facts. So moving on, man. So to the next topic, man. Yo, big ups, man. Big ups. He got his Heisman back. The boy got his Heisman back. Oh my goodness, it shouldn't have took this long. They should never really took it from him. Man, look, they've been advocating for this, man, and I know a lot of people have been behind the scenes jumping on this, but when I've seen the Johnny Manziel interview on a Club Shay Shay with Shannon Sharp, right? And he said, and Johnny Manziel said, I will not step foot on the Heisman stage until Reggie gets his back. You know what I'm saying? Seeing that everything that's been going on with the NIL and how Manziel almost got caught or whatever else was going on. He was like, I'm not going to do it. I'm not going to do that. That's one of my brothers in arms. And I respect that. Not to say that there wasn't other people advocating for that, but I've never seen nobody advocate and speak on such a big platform, such as like a Club Shay Shay, to reach a whole bunch of people. Like, what, Reggie Bush, he ain't got his Heisman for what? Like, and but with that being said, though, man, I'm so glad that he got his Heisman. And Reggie Bush, man, he played at USC, man. He had 11 years in the NFL. He played for 5 different teams. The man done dated Kim Kardashian, Eve Torres from the WWE. I mean, come on, y'all. And we gonna forever remember the 2006 Rose Bowl, right? I remember that game like it was yesterday, for real, bro. I mean, what, Texas won? What was the score, bro? Was it like I can't remember what the score.
I don't remember the score.
41-38 or something like that. It was like 41-38. I mean, what, LeDale White had 3 touchdowns that game. I believe Vince Young went off that game. He went absolutely bonkers that game, man. And but and I got some of that, but that game will be forever etched in my mind. That's where the game I remember Reggie Bush and watching USC. And I think that game right there in 2006 is what began my love for college football. It could, because that game alone, bro, it made me root for both teams. Like, I've never, and I didn't walk away. Like, I remember wanting Reggie to win because he was a running back, and that's what I was. And, and watching Vince Young, but I was rooting for Vince Young, and I was rooting for Reggie Bush, and I was rooting for both teams. Like, you know what I'm saying? And I'm a Longhorn now, because, whatever, I told you what the bet was with that, but still, like, it's like, I'm just like, oh, back and forth. And it was just so exciting, so captivating. And it was just had you on the edge of your seat. And for real, that's where the love of college football really came to me, was watching that game. Like, that was the one game I could honestly say that I watched and I wasn't mad that a team lost, because to me, I think they both came out winners, man. If you ask me, I'm gonna let you go ahead and honor him a little bit, then I'll dive back into the game, man, because that game had some crazy stats. Like, I had no idea, like, until we was bringing up the subject, that LeDale White was actually like the MVP of that game, or he would have been had USC pulled it off.
Yeah, Lindell. Yeah. Again, like I say, this is, congratulations to Reggie for getting his Heisman Trophy back. And yeah, because, you just think about it, everybody knew Johnny Manziel going to the NFL had a quote unquote substance abuse issue, right?
Right.
That's a problem. So again, for the Heisman committee to say that, well, we take off the field stuff into consideration. We want people with a certain moral compass or anything like that. Reggie Bush didn't get in trouble off the field.
No.
You know what I mean? And the situation, they punished the school. Reggie, they took Reggie's Heisman, but again, just you didn't take anything away from Johnny Manziel. You were in love with Johnny football. Johnny was doing some of the same things that got Ty Gurley suspended.
Mm-hmm.
Well, not some of doing the same things that got Ty Gurley suspended. The same thing that got what's my man name? Terrell Pryor suspended at Ohio State.
Mm-hmm.
But at no point did y'all take his Heisman Trophy away. So again, it was just the NCAA being reactionary instead of being proactive.
Right.
Because if anything, you don't take away his award because he won the award. Now again, some Texas fans may feel like, hey, look, Vince Young had a better year. Again, they make the argument and say, hey, look, Reggie, you were great, but Lindell White was really kind of the workhorse, and you were just kind of the guy that do the electric things and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But in any regard, it shouldn't have been taken away. It shouldn't have. I mean,
Right.
just and if it was taken away, it shouldn't have taken this long to to give it back. So I'm happy that he was able to get it back because he rightfully earned it. You know what I mean? Because at that time, Reggie Bush was, to many people, the absolute best player in all of college football.
Period.
And
What is your favorite Reggie Bush moment?
it got to be against Fresno State. He's
Oh
running down
yeah.
the sideline. He pushed the ball behind his back, takes the other side of the field, and it's just like and at that time, because at that time the pack was just USC and you got Oregon, kind of coming up. So you kind of looking at the pack back then, it's like, bro, the pack, like they just made the running backs just look so exciting. Like Reggie looked so exciting. Maurice Jones-Drew looked exciting. Marshawn Lynch looked exciting. All those backs that Oregon had, they just looked so exciting, So, but but Reggie was at the top. Reggie was at the top of the, just at the top of the hill. You know what I mean?
Yeah, he was.
And
He was, man.
he was
He was.
that guy.
He beat out that year that he won the Heisman too. He beat out Vince Young, in which Vince Young beat him in the Rose Bowl game. And you know what I'm saying? But he beat Vince Young out for the Heisman. So, I know Reggie Bush answered that question before, but that's definitely one interview question I would ask Reggie Bush. Like, Reggie, like, would you rather have that Rose Bowl trophy, or would you rather have a Heisman?
But the crazy thing about this though, because you just brought up that national title game, and it's like crazy. It's like 3 plays I remember from that game. Like the game was exciting, but it's like 3 plays that stick out. One of the plays was Reggie Bush running down the field, and for whatever reason, he feels the need to just lateral the football. Like, Reggie, what are you doing? Like, it's too early in the game to be taking these type of risks. Then there was another play where Vince Young, I believe it was an option play. His knee was clearly on the ground before he pitched the football, but they didn't call it. And obviously the last play of the game where it's all on the table. They're not giving the ball to anybody else but to Vince Young, and he walk-off touchdown. So, those are the 3 plays that I remember. But I mean, at that time, I remember I was in high school. I was going, I was going for USC to win that game because
Me too.
at that time I felt like they were the better team. They had the more name recognition. But when you look back on it, that Texas team may have not been from an overall perspective as talented as USC, but that Texas team is one of the most talented teams that has been in college football in the last 20 years, and the NFL draft supports that, especially
Well,
secondary.
Oscar, I believe they had middle linebacker Oscar Lua played for USC back then, and he just didn't have. And people, and now that you mentioning that, like I always do my research and in my due diligence. He only had 6 tackles in that Pacific game, that national championship game, and people were looking for him to have a better game, like you said. Like, how the hell did the cornerbacks in that game, Michael Griffin and Michael Huff? No, I'm sorry, they was on the other side. Darnell Bing and Josh Pinkert was the cornerbacks for USC back then, right? And they were leading tackles on that team. And they're like, how wasn't Oscar just disappears on the last play of the game and Vince Young just walk in and score? Like, and I've seen that. I've seen that on the forum when I'm doing research, but sometimes I don't pay attention to that. But that's crazy you brought that up. That just goes to show your knowledge of the game and everything, bro. Because you be bringing it, but I do research into it. I try to bring that up, but yeah, that's dope, man. That's super dope, bro. That's super dope. And actually, like I said, Lindell White was 20 carries that game, 124 yards, 3 tutties. He was the
They
man in that
couldn't they couldn't stop Lindell White.
game. Nah.
They
Mm-mm.
could not stop. I mean, they couldn't. I mean, again, I mean, nobody can stop Lindell White. I
Nah.
mean, I mean, it. You know, it is what it is. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And again, some people made the argument that look, Lindell White is really the best running back on this team. But Reggie's gonna get the fanfare because Reggie is Mr. Everything. The highlight play. But we just talking just running
Is
back,
that
like.
truly where the 1-2 punch really started at?
No, no, no,
Nah, it ain't. It ain't.
no, no, no.
Okay. So look, because like I'm not gonna sit here and act like I've been watching college football for years in and years out. Like I was I
Yeah,
was
yeah,
I was a teenager then, you know what I'm saying? But that
yeah.
is when I got into the game. Like that year was all glued into it. Reggie Bush, Reggie Bush. I was all about more about college football and wanting to learn more about it and everything. That's when it first started for me. So, you know, we'll save that for another day. Maybe we'll have to bring up the best 1-2 punches in college football or something.
They're up there. I mean, you got some nice 1-2 punches. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Kind of obviously right on top of my head. Miami has had some nice 1-2 punches. James Davis and C.J. Spiller at Clemson. That was a nice 1-2
Mhm.
punch.
That's
Uh,
off top, huh? Oregon always had backs. They
yeah,
always had.
Oregon, nice 1-2 punch. Mark Ingram and what's my man name?
Derrick
Trent
Henry,
Richardson.
Alvin
Uh,
Kamara, all them doing.
yeah, but I'm talking about but Mark Ingram and Trent Richardson. That was a
Oh
nice.
yeah,
That was a nice
that
1-2
was
punch.
crazy.
Yeah, so.
That was crazy.
And even more recently, as much as it hurts me to say this, but the 2 running backs that North Carolina had back in 2020, that was a nice 1-2 punch. Both of those young men ended up getting, drafted. One went to the Jets, another one went to the Broncos. So,
Javante Hampton and
no, it was
it wasn't that was not Javante, not Javon.
yeah, one of them name was Javante, and the
Javante,
other
yeah,
one Michael
that's
Carter.
it.
Yeah, Michael Carter was the other one. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
yeah. So
but-
yeah, that was a nice 1-2 punch too.
okay.
But and then obviously, even though injuries kind of took a lot away from it, but their freshman year, like Ty Gurley and Keith Marshall at Georgia, that was a very, very nice 1-2 punch because
Oh
that
yeah, yeah,
uh,
yeah.
yeah, it's been some, some a little bit less, you know, lauded than others. But when we
Okay,
do a list like that, it'll probably be some personal biases because, like I say, I'm a college football fan first, and then I
you
rep
got
my
to roll.
second.
Uh-huh. Yeah. I mean, hey, I don't blame you though, because I mean I like some backs down there, man. I'm catching up, bro. I'm catching up now. I be out here doing my homework, bro. I be out here now. Don't. You know, don't ain't a boy getting up there now. I'm getting that knowledge coming, boy. I be research. I got books upon books upon books upon books. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, bro. I wish I could pan over right now and just show you. I got a stack full of notebooks, bro. Just books. You know, you got to, man. You know, I ain't gonna be the dead horse, you know, but it's a responsibility, you know. So I gotta be on that. But yeah. But we about to get up into our top five. Our top five. Our top five Heisman's. That's not just ours. It's ours, you know. Not everybody else's, not this list, not that list. It's Shad and I top five Heisman lists. We're gonna try to get through it as quick as possible. But would you like to take the floor? I mean, or you want, you know, or you
No,
want to go back and forth with it? How you want to do this? You want
we
to
can
get
go back. We can go back and forth. We can go back and forth.
okay. So I'll let you go first, sir.
So obviously, my top one is Cam Newton, and it's for a multitude of reasons.
Okay.
One of the reasons being nobody expected it, for one,
Right.
and Heisman Trophy winners don't always have the most success in the national championship game, which we just alluded to with the Reggie Bush situation.
Mhm.
Um, I know a lot of people, you know, when they talk about it, they say, "Oh, well, Cam didn't play with, you know, a lot of guys that went to the NFL," and that may be true, but I always think about it like this: they were a good enough college team to get the
Mhm.
job, right?
Mhm.
Thinking back to that Alabama game where Alabama had them down in the first half, and for them to come back in the second half, Cam wasn't playing defense. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? You know, they
Right.
had Nick Fairley, but Nick Fairley wasn't the only one on the defensive side of the ball. So I still remember a game against the University of Kentucky where Cam put the guys on his back. But again, people still had to block, people still had to catch. You don't account for 50 total touchdowns. And I just remember the demolished job that he did to South Carolina in the SEC championship game that particular year. So I mean,
He was
nobody
17. He
expected it.
was 17 for 28 that game, 61% of his passes for 335 yards, 4 tutties, and he
It went
had two on
crazy.
the ground. Ooh.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, he went crazy. Again, like I said, now the national championship game, I don't know what transpired in there. He didn't have a Heisman-esque performance, but I mean that Oregon defense was biting. And again, that's a perfect example right there. That was a team victory that particular game because
Yeah.
Oregon was just absolutely on fire that particular year.
That's
Thomas at quarterback, I think he may have had 40 passing touchdowns himself or high 30s or something like that. And
definitely.
for that defense of Auburn to come in there and limit them, and then for that Oregon defense to go over
Mhm.
there and limit a Cam Newton. So, I mean, that national championship game, it won't get the same type of fanfare as like, that Texas USC game or, some of the other ones, but that was just that was a good game where you just had two really good college football teams battling out and somebody had to win, and but it was great. Cam was able to cap off, you know what I mean, a unbelievable season with that national championship because
I think that national championship game that Cam Newton played in, I don't think that was. I mean, statistically, that wasn't really that too bad of a game against Oregon.
I
You would
mean,
some
but
argue. I
I mean, but
mean,
when you look at what when you look at what he did throughout the season, and then you kind of get over there to Oregon, where because I don't even think they
mhm.
scored a touchdown. There was just a bunch of field goals being kicked that game. So you know,
No, he scored. Then he threw for two.
it do for- okay.
Yeah, he threw for two that game. He threw for two that game. He was 20 for 34, had completed 59% of his passes that game, and then he was he had like what 265 and two
Okay.
touchdowns and a pick. So I mean that's what I'm saying. Like statistically, it wasn't that bad. And they came
Yeah,
from behind, like you said, too.
yeah, yeah.
And they had Michael James that year too. They had Michael James in the
That's,
backfield.
that's I mean, that was a absolutely loaded, that was a very loaded Oregon team,
Yes, it
as well.
was.
You know what I mean?
Yes, it
But yeah,
was.
but that's my number one.
Okay. I mean, so I got Cam Newton on my list, so I gotta go ahead and get him out the way and just add to it, because I had him on my list when you said Cam Newton, and I said, all right, well then I'll just, roll with him. I'll just roll with it. So Cam Newton's definitely on my list, and obviously he beat out Andrew Luck, LaMichael James that year for the Heisman, if y'all can remember that in 2010.
I think Mike had a 300-yard rushing game against USC or something like
Yeah.
stupid stuff.
Yeah, LaMichael, yeah. And I mean, and that's what I'm saying, that Andrew Luck was just absolutely just woo, and for Cam Newton to come in and put in that work, man, it was stunning. And that's because he was a true dual threat quarterback. I mean, he was completing 66% of his passes back then, when he won the Heisman. He had 30 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. He had 20 rushing touchdowns that year when he won the Heisman. And against Georgia, the 4 games that I highlighted out there, obviously I gave you the stats from South Carolina and Oregon, but I also highlighted the Georgia and Bama game like you did too, because Georgia, Bama, Oregon, and South Carolina wasn't that bad. I believe that was how many years out was that, or when they Jadeveon Clowney, if I'm trying to think, because Clowney was an absolute freak down there in South Carolina, and I mean,
Well, they didn't play. They didn't play each other.
No, I don't think but
Yeah.
no, they didn't play each other. But I was just saying, like that, the couple years before and a couple years after, South Carolina was still relevant.
Oh
Obviously,
yeah,
because they were in
So,
the
South,
the SEC championship
South
game.
Carolina had a nice run there for a couple.
Right, right, for sure. And then so in the Georgia game though, he completed 80% of his passes, 2 touchdowns, had a pick, and he had 2 on the ground for 151 yards. Did Georgia and Bama, same difference. He 65% of his passes, 3 touchdowns in the air, 1 in a touchdown. Like Cam Newton just went absolutely crazy his Heisman year, and bouncing back from JUCO, sitting behind Tim Tebow down at Florida, the adversity that he faced going to JUCO, man. Look, Cam Newton's definitely on my list for one of my favorite Heisman candidates, man, for sure. Let's give it up for him. So next on my list is I want to stir the pot up a little bit, right? I'm gonna stir the pot up a little bit, and it's for a multitude of reasons, right? Because I believe this year in 2003, Larry Fitzgerald should have been a Heisman winner, even though a receiver never wins the Heisman Trophy. That year, Jason White actually was the Heisman. But I want to say that Larry Fitzgerald was from Pittsburgh. I mean, 92 receptions, 1,672 yards, 22 touchdowns. He was just absolutely unstoppable, man. His yak was crazy. I actually remember, because I'm from the Berg, and we was loving that. We was loving, our pro team good, and our college team was good. We was loving that up there. You know what I'm saying? And look, Jason White that year in 2020 in 2003, he had completed 62% of his passes. He had 3,846 yards, 40 touchdowns, 10 interceptions. And the other guy who was up in the running with them that year, I believe, was Eli Manning. When Jason White won, Eli was completing 62% of his passes, 3,600 yards. Obviously, he played for Ole Miss, had 29 touchdowns and 10 interceptions, right? And I said, man, I'm like, why? So how come Eli, wasn't good for that, But Jason White played the year after that, and a lot of people thought Larry should have got it that year. I'm not taking nothing from Jason White, because obviously that's outstanding the way he played. I mean, I'm not gonna lie. Anytime you throw for over 3,500 yards, 40 touchdowns in a college season, that is phenomenal. And I don't want to take nothing from him, but just the impact that Larry had, and but honestly, I think that's where it was like the popular opinion, and I thought that's what they went with. But even the next year after that, and I wanted to get a little messy with that, right? Just a little bit. The year after that, in 2004, is where I think that Jason White should have actually won. But who won? Matt Leinart won that year, right? But that's the year he actually should have won. Jason White should have beat him out that year. because Matt Leinart, he only had he had 3,322 yards, 33 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And Jason White, 2004, he had 3,205 yards, 35 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. But his passer rating was better than Matt Leinart's. And people would say that he was a better quarterback than Matt Leinart that year. I just wanted to get a little bit, stir the pot up a little bit. You know what I mean? You know how I do it, bro. Just stir it up just a little bit. And but yeah, man, 2003 was a crazy year. 2003, 2004 was some crazy years. Jason White should have actually won. In my eyes, 2004, 2003 should have went to Larry Fitzgerald. The impact a receiver had on the game has never been done. His NFL career is phenomenal, and he definitely should have a Heisman right now, bro. I mean, and not only that, but he don't, but whatever. Should have got a Super Bowl too, but we took that away, so I ain't mad at that. But that's my guy though, man. Hey man, he forever etched, bro. That's my guy though, man. He should have stayed in Pittsburgh, man. He should have never went to Arizona.
Yeah, that would have brought everything back full circle.
Yeah, it would have. Yeah, it would have. But yeah, that's me. That's my second, and that's the only messy thing I got. But you go ahead and get into your second one.
Well, my second one again, similar to the first one, an obvious one. I'm going Joe Burrow.
Joe Burrow. Okay.
60 passing touchdowns to 6 interceptions. I'm talking about, again, Miami, we played Joe Burrow the previous year. We didn't see any of this from him or from that receiving core that he had, but that was just, that was crazy, bro.
Yeah, it's phenomenal.
That's the only way that you can even talk about that is like that year, that scheme, those guys. I don't see. I'm sure it's gonna happen, right?
Burrow had the squad, man. That squad.
Currently, I can't picture another quarterback having a year like that. Because again, like I say, we had leading up to this, we had all heard about Timmy Chang and those guys down there in Hawaii throwing the ball around 50 touchdowns, all that stuff like that. Mm-hmm. But you had seen it work at this level in that conference. And Joe Burrow showed up, 3 receivers, got Thaddeus Moss involved, Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It was just a phenomenal show. To me, the 2 favorite games that I like watching was the Texas game, which I believe they combined for over 1,000 yards of total offense. Obviously the Alabama game, him and Tua battling out, going blow for blow. Joe Burrow getting the last, getting it over the hump. And then once they got to the playoffs, man, it was just like, it was literally like a school bus going up against an ant. It was just like, I'm sure AJ Terrell right now still wakes up in the middle of the night screaming, "Where's Chase? Where's Jefferson?" They picked on that young man. They cost him bread. He still went first round. Yeah. But they cost that young. They cost him a little money.
Yeah, man.
They did. But
he was something else though.
That was just that was crazy though, bro. That year,
yeah. Who'd he beat? I wonder I can't remember who he beat out that year.
I don't know, but if we're talking that should have been unanimous,
Jalen Hurts and Justin Fields is who he beat out that year.
And you know what's crazy about that? Justin Fields had a hell of a year too.
Yeah,
any other year, because I think maybe there was a next year after that, Dwayne Haskins, he had a crazy year, he threw 50 some odd touchdowns too. So those years right there together, it was just some. Well, no, Dwayne Haskins was after that, But it's like, bro, it's like,
Yeah, Joe
this
Burrow.
is
He was
different,
good.
man.
He was him.
It's
He was him.
different.
Man. He was him. He was. He was him in college. I can't argue with that list. I can't argue. I like that one. I like that pick. I like that pick a lot. I like that pick a lot. But wait till you hear my next one. Wait till you hear my next one. You said Joe Burrow. So I gotta go Lamar Jackson.
Okay,
2016.
I can respect it.
He beat out Deshaun Watson that year and Baker Mayfield, bro. He had 2 games over 400 yards that year against Syracuse and Marshall. Absolutely went off. But the Syracuse game, I know some people might be like, Syracuse, you only threw 1 touchdown that game, you know what I mean? But he had 4 rushing touchdowns and 200 yards on the ground. 199. 199. I rounded up and gave him 200. All right, I'm just kidding. You know what I'm saying? But you want me to give you correct stats? That's what it was. And then Marshall, he actually only had 62 yards rushing on that game, but he had 2 touchdowns that game. Had 5 in the air though, 5 in the air. Um, Let me give y'all Can I get of y'all his career stats in college? Like so, as a freshman, Lamar Jackson, he was completing 55% of his passes, 1,840 yards, 12 touchdowns, 8 picks, 960 yards rushing, 11 touchdowns. Sophomore year, he had 3,543 yards, completing 56% of his passes, 30 touchdowns, 9 interceptions, 21 touchdowns on rushing for 1,571 yards. That man is a possessed. He's great. Hey, yo, his last year, though, he had 3,600 yards, 27 touchdowns, 10 picks, but he had 18 rushing touchdowns, 1,600 yards rushing when he won the Heisman that year. Lamar Jackson at Louisville was the guy, and he's definitely one of my favorite Heisman's, bro. Period. And not only that, but Deshaun Watson had a hell of a year that year. Can't knock that, and Baker Mayfield did too. So he beat out 2 good players. But and he was at Louisville, so I mean,
Yeah,
you can't knock that, bro. So
yeah, yeah. I think that was the year they ran. I want to say it was the year they ran Florida State out the field too. Like it was like they embarrassed Florida State that year. Like,
yeah,
and it was in Louisville. But yeah, man, it was. And then I want to say maybe it was against the like Clemson. Maybe
yeah,
it may
he
not have
beat
been the Heisman year, but it was one of those games where like the receiver was like wide open to get a first down. It was like 4th down, and
mhm.
dude ran the route short, and that was it. Like they were driving. I remember like Lamar was like so hot because he's like, bro, what are you doing? Like we had him, you know what I mean? So
Mhm.
it wasn't just like he was just out there playing and they was going like 8-5 or no, like Louisville was like a problem. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like how they were when Teddy was there too. So, but yeah, I respect that. That was a great year for Lamar.
yeah. Thank you.
Great career for Lamar, not just a year. Great career for Lamar.
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was. Absolutely, absolutely. And he got better and better every year too. So I like that. Who's your next one, man? So I think we both 3 deep right now.
So, well, no, this would be my third one. Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
So, you're right. We both 3D. But my next one, Marcus Mariota, right? Um, like like Oregon has probably been like my low key my second favorite team. They now way back to Dennis Dixon because I absolutely love Dennis Dixon. I hate how in his last year because Dennis was cooking, like Heisman buzz and the knee, and Oregon was making a push for a national title that year, and his knee went, So I had kind of been watching Oregon, since Dennis Dixon, and obviously, like you say, like the Michael James year, the DeAnthony Thomas years, and stuff like that. But like Marcus Mariota was like literally like their crowning achievement at the quarterback position. Heisman Trophy year accounted for 57 total touchdowns, right? 57 total.
How many he had that year?
57 total. Again, that's seven more. That's seven more than Cam. But again, very good, very good Oregon team. You know what I mean? Um, Ran Florida State off the field that particular year. But unfortunately, like I said, they suffered the fate. Well, he suffered the fate that a lot of Heisman Trophy candidates suffer. When they get to that big game, they just don't pull it out. They literally ran into an absolute buzzsaw in Ohio State in 2014. But that doesn't take anything away from what Marcus Mariota did.
Right.
He's cemented as the greatest quarterback in program history, and he capped it off with a 57. He accounted for 57 total touchdowns. So 40
He was
some odd.
exciting.
Yeah. So he was, I think, 40 touchdowns. No, 42 touchdowns, passing to 6 interceptions. And that's what I like to see, because when you think about it, you throw 42 touchdowns and you going through 6 picks. That's good. That's a great touchdown interception ratio as well.
Great.
Right? You know what I
Great.
mean? Obviously, NFL career may not be what it was, but again, sometimes you gotta forget about that and just appreciate the guys when they were at their peak. And Marcus Mariota was at his absolute peak at the
He's
University of
still
Oregon.
around though. He's
Yeah,
still hanging
he's still
around
there.
though.
He's still there.
He's
But
still hanging around though. You know what I'm saying? And he definitely was exciting. I mean, couldn't nobody. It seemed like you couldn't catch that Polly. You couldn't catch
no,
him, man.
I mean, he was again fast. I mean, he was everything that I think he had a piece of like what all the previous Oregon quarterbacks had before him, right?
Mhm.
Pinpoint accuracy, was big, could run, could throw. So like all the combinations of what all the Oregon quarterbacks were before him, they were able to put that into Marcus Mariota,
Right.
and he was able to hoist up the Heisman Trophy. He was able to hoist up the Heisman Trophy.
Good analogy too.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he was him. But see, and then like so a couple of my last two picks was kind of like they're so obvious, but I can't. Look, but still, like I can't go and talk about Heisman of my all time list without putting an all time great on it. And I had to. And I mean, obviously, Charles Woodson. I mean, for like what the one defensive player in so many years, like that ever might ever do. No, another DB might not ever do that again.
No, they're not. They're not gonna do it.
And the year that Charles Woodson had, I mean, look, it wasn't like way over the top, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, though, he ran the ball that year, he received the ball that year, he and I gotta pay homage, and that's another big reason why. So maybe you could call it a little bit biased. Let me keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? I got to, but Charles Woodson, man, he beat out Peyton Manning that year, and believe it or not, Ryan Leaf was good in college, y'all. Yes, he was.
Yeah.
Ryan Leaf and Peyton Manning. So, and for a cornerback to beat them two out, like he was their worst nightmare. Um, I did want to take this opportunity to throw something else up in there, and that was he is what tied for fifth on the all-time list for interceptions, right? Um, he shares the fifth spot with Ken Riley with 65. Obviously, Night Train Lane is number 4 with 68. Rod Woodson's number 3 with 71. Emlyn Tunnel is 79, and Paul Cross is just by himself with 81. Ed Reed's in 7th, y'all, with 64. I'm getting there. Y'all like, why is you naming these people? Like, they ain't got nothing to do with it. But listen, Ronnie Lott with 63 at number 8. Darren Sharper got 63, and he's not in the Hall of Fame, and he's on that list, and he's right amongst those greats. So, I mean, while paying homage to another great in Charles Woodson on the Heisman, when him being my favorite Heisman's, I also wanted to point out that Darren Sharper got 63 interceptions on the all-time list, number 9, and he's not in the Hall of Fame. Retired in 2010, by the way, but should be out there. Yeah. Charles Woodson, man. I mean, he had 65 career NFL career interceptions. We all know that. What up, Cuban Dumars? I see you up in here. And yeah, so let me just keep it short and sweet like that. That's pretty much it for me. I had to throw him out there, man.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I can respect that. You know what I mean? I can respect that.
Facts.
Um, my next one is Sam Bradford.
Sam Bradford.
You know,
What? So I Sam Bradford. I mean,
I keep no, but my last one is going to just like it's gonna be like ain't no way he said that name. Ain't no way he said that name. Ain't no way he even brought him up. But Sam Bradford, you know, again, similar to what I felt about Joe Burrow. Again, we had seen situations where these quarterbacks had thrown for 50 some odd touchdowns at the University of Hawaii. But
mhm.
Sam Bradford with Kevin Wilson as the offensive coordinator, I mean, they were an absolute sewing machine, right?
Mm.
An absolute sewing machine that particular year. I loved watching that offense because that was the particular year where you started to see some of the change in college football where the big time programs now are adapting what a lot more air raid concepts within their particular scheme. And Sam Bradford, you know, was that guy, pinpoint accuracy, and he just had a hell of a year that particular year. I loved it again, but similar to Marcus Mariota, just ended up running into a buzzsaw in the national championship game that '08, yeah, that '08 Florida team, where it was just it wasn't they didn't blow them out. It was a close game, but you could just see that they were a little bit more physical. But Sam Bradford, you know, Sam Bradford held his own in that particular game, right? Again, I think most people the play that they will remember from that particular game is the sideline throw that Sam Bradford made, which in today's football, that hit that Major Wright had, that would have been 15 yards. He would have been, you know, disqualified from the game, right?
Mhm.
Back then, again, that just shows you how, again, I'm thinking about that game like it was like yesterday or something, right? But that was in 2008. It's 2024. It just shows you how much the game has changed in that length of time, right? To because that Major Wright hit on that receiver back then, like everyone was hoping as a DB to get a hit like that. But nowadays you can't make a hit like that. They'll throw you out the game. They'll throw you out that game and they might suspend you for the next game. But
Facts.
not to take away from Sam Bradford, great year that year, man. I loved it. Kevin Wilson and Sam Bradford, great. Again, then they kept that and that Oklahoma offense, that style of offense just continued to progress every quarterback they got after that. But I think Sam Bradford kind of started. Um, and again, I'm not a OU fan by any stretch, but Sam Bradford is my favorite Oklahoma quarterback. So,
Go ahead and drop your next one, dog. Go ahead and drop your next
and
one.
so my last one, which is way out of left field, is Troy Smith. Troy Smith won the Heisman Trophy. And the reason I put Troy Smith on here is because I really couldn't put the guy that I wanted to put on here because he didn't win the Heisman Trophy. He was just a recipient of passes from Troy Smith. It was Ted Ginn Jr. But I loved what Troy Smith did that particular year. Numbers weren't just gaudy, 30 touchdowns and 6 interceptions. But again, when you just think about this Heisman Trophy that he won, because this was in '06. This was in '06 that he won it. And you're not necessarily thinking about like in today's game, I think if Troy Smith was playing today, that number would probably been easily 50 and maybe 6 or 7 interceptions. But just back then, I loved Ted Ginn. And so just by default, I love Troy Smith because Troy Smith was throwing Ted Ginn the ball because at that time Ted Ginn was like my second favorite college football player behind Devin Hester at that time. But So that's my number five, right? I know it comes off the wall because Troy Smith is not a name that a lot of people will bring up, you know, in terms of this. But Troy Smith did win the Heisman. But again, similar to Mariota, similar to Bradford, you get to the national championship game and things just don't work out. But I still stand by this, right? I'm
Mhm.
not, again, Miami fan to the death of me. But I feel like if Ted Ginn hadn't got hurt at the beginning of that game on that kick return, that game looks a lot different.
Yes.
A lot different. But it is what it is.
I could dig it. I could dig it. I could dig it. My
Game was
last
played, next man up mentality, but you just don't replace Ted again.
word. Y'all heard it. Y'all heard my man. Y'all know how he be bringing it. But my last one, cause I'm short. Y'all never see me stand. I'm only like five. I'm only 5'6". Only 5'6". Little short, little bowling ball, butterball type dude. You know what I'm saying? Just- but but I will run you the fuck over on the football field. I swear to goodness. And one of my favorite running backs of all time and was Barry Sanders. And I cannot make a Heisman list without putting my man Barry Sanders on here. We all know what Barry did in the game, right? But we are not only here to tell y'all about people, we are also here to educate the casual fan, right? So a little bit, people that maybe not know too much about Barry Sanders, okay, was a 10-time Pro Bowler. Okay, he led the league in rushing for 4 years in the NFL. And look, hold up, hold up. I know this ain't got nothing to do with him winning the Heisman Trophy, right? It ain't got nothing to do with him winning the Heisman Trophy. But not only that, when he was in college, the man was just possessed. He was going off like Barry Sanders at Oklahoma State University. I mean, so correct me if I'm wrong now. You could say that he was probably one of, or if not the best running back to come through Oklahoma State. Can you say that? Is it
Oh
safe
yeah.
to say that?
I take it a step further. Barry Sanders is probably the best running back that came out of the state of Oklahoma, Texas, Louisiana. Like Barry Sanders arguably is the greatest college running back of all time. Like, arguably,
Period.
yeah, just like so.
Like, great guy.
Yeah,
I mean, in college, he had what so his stats in college: 11 games, 300. His last season, his Heisman season, the year he won the Heisman, which was in 1988, right? So just to give y'all a little quick update on my age, I shouldn't be telling y'all this, right? But that was 7 years before I was born. I'm lying. I'm lying. I'm a lie. Like yeah, I'm a lie. I'm a lie. I'm a lie. Nah, but he had 344 attempts, 2,600 yards, 28 yards, 37 touchdowns. He had 19 receptions for 106 yards. But Barry Sanders did something. He not only did he dominate in college, he went to the pros and went to obviously one of the you can say the Lions were bad, right? Obviously, you're right. They were horrible. And he went there and made that turn that franchise around, never got a Super Bowl. It's so many reasons why Barry Sanders is my number one Heisman guy, my favorite of all time. And I had to put him up here on this list, man. And now I'm excited to talk about the draft. I want to talk a little bit about this draft, bro. I want to talk this draft a little bit because you look tired. You look like you ain't ate. You look like you're sleepy. You look like you about ready to get on up out of here, dog. I be appreciate your time. I know I'm hungry. I know I ain't ate nothing. I know this week has been absolutely long. Um, and I appreciate y'all coming through watching, whether y'all watching or not. If you watching from the background, would you please be kind enough to hit the like button for us one time? You ain't gotta comment your name, but please be kind enough to hit the like button and help with the algorithm because it seems like people be watching this and they'll be never hit the like button. Y'all never be in the chat, but I don't understand it. But anyhow, um, we gonna have to get that looked at. But that's why I got so many moderators. The draft. So real quick, just off top, and I mean we haven't done any research on it. I mean I haven't because I didn't want to really pull this up. So I haven't. So to be fair, what's up, South Coast? You up in the building? I haven't done any research on it, so I'm not really. So I'm really freestyling. So correct me if I'm wrong. Help me out in the chat. Do not hold me to my word right now, okay? I'm just keeping it a buck. I'm keeping it a buck out here because I'm not gonna be a hypocrite on what I'm saying and provide information to somebody who may be watching and they say, oh, well, you know, you said this. I'm just letting you know. All right. I'm gonna talk about what I know. Okay, how about that? And I want to talk about my Steelers.
Uh-oh.
I like my Steelers pick. I'm gonna talk about what I know with my Steelers. That pick with picking up. I can't even pronounce his last name. Please help me pronounce it, bro. I cannot pronounce it for the life of me. What is it? Troy
I don't know.
Fontu, right? Troy Fontu. That sound about right. Close
Um,
enough, right? Close enough.
yeah, I'm sure it's close enough.
Close enough. Okay. Um, 6'4", 317 pounds. He was a tackle at Washington. Now, going into the draft, arguably, people were saying that there was only one guy who was really better than him, but we discussed it. And Joe Oat is 6'8", had a lot of hype behind him going into college, played up at Notre Dame, played well up at Notre Dame, continued to have the hype because he didn't never lose steam on his play on the field. So, yeah, he deserved that. But you maybe say that, and to me, I think that he was the best lineman in the draft. I mean, when you talk about how agile he was, his agility, and that's what matters to me because he has the strength, he has the awareness, he can move, and his agility, and he's a versatile tackle. Now, I think we'll probably move him inside on or at guard, and I think that's fair enough because that's what you do with inexperienced linemen. Either coming from you do it in college, from high school to college level sometimes, and sometimes you do it from college to the pro level, right? To get them on the field, get them some experience, get them some reps, and get them out there, and so it could adjust their footwork and whatever else. But I think he might be at guard, and I could imagine him pulling. And we definitely could use him at tackle too. So I really don't know in the air. Just to give y'all a quick breakdown on that, we went and grabbed Broderick Jones last year, from Georgia. We got Dan Moore, Anderson Height, Delvery Hamilton, Kellen. I can't pronounce his last name. Dylan Cook, Tyler Beach, James Daniels, and Spencer Anderson. So these are all of our offensive linemen. They're almost all tackles. James Daniels and Spencer Anderson are the only other offensive linemen on the Steelers roster that are guards and centers, right? So everybody else is a versatile tackle. Now, why do you think that we're doing that? I think, and that's why I really like the pick with Troy Fattutoo, because we're getting tackles that can play the guard position. Watch out for my Steelers, bro. We changing the game. We getting tackles that's used to playing on the outside that can play the guard position. Watch what I tell you now, how we fuck the game up. Excuse my language, man. I don't really like using curse words, man. I really don't. I try not to anyway, but hey, if you do it, man. But I'm excited about that pick, and I like that pick. I also like what the Philadelphia Eagles is doing, but I'll talk about that after you break down something, bro.
I mean, I was I was hurt when the Falcons made their pick. I was hurt. I was sad. I was bothered because I was hurt, man.
Why was you so hurt?
What you mean why I was hurt? I done banged the drum for this man the entire year that he's coming. My team won just enough games to put us in position to get him, only for the funky A Falcons, who who y'all signed Kirk Cousins. Y'all weren't even supposed to be y'all weren't even supposed to be thinking about a quarterback. I mean,
Mhm.
we hearing that y'all have to explain why y'all took Michael Penix. So it's
Mhm.
like y'all went rogue.
They
Y'all
did.
they took that from me.
Mhm.
So that was my takeaway. But
Yeah.
all in all, um, that's a good pickup for them. You know, we were able to get
But I
Brock
got Brock
Bowers.
Bowers. I got Brock Bowers. I
Man,
mean,
hey, listen, man. Hey, listen. I don't care.
you don't care. You don't care. I know you wanted Penix, bro, and I wanted you to have Penix too, bro. I just wanted you to explain to the honest, but bro, for real, I knew that you. I wanted you to have Penix too, and they definitely was going after him. We talk about we talked about these quarterbacks leading up into the draft, bro. And honestly, we talked about Justin Fields and Caleb Williams being no different. Chicago's not getting a different quarterback; they're just getting a younger quarterback. Um, we talked about Michael Penix Jr., bro, and him being the best pure passer in the league, bro. We talked about that on this show, fans' point of view. Discussed that. We've discussed that, and to me, I don't know what the hell the Falcons was thinking. Like when you gotta talk to the owner, bro. When you gotta talk to the owner
You
about your
did
pick,
something. You did something you weren't supposed to do,
yeah. I mean, he came up in
and they
there like,
took that
what
from
the
me.
fuck? What the? He said, it's disclaimer: children cover your ears if you watching. I don't know if they do. What the fuck you doing? Who the fuck did you pick, motherfucker? Motherfucker,
They
you
took
took
that
a
from me.
motherfucking quarterback after I just paid this motherfucker $188 million.
That's what I'm saying.
You dumb motherfucker. I should
That's what I'm
fire.
saying.
He said, sir. He said, sir, I I ain't say that. I ain't
They need to
I,
trade them. Listen. We'll trade y'all Brock Bowers for Michael Penix right now. Straight
right
up.
now.
Straight
Straight
up.
up.
Take him. Because listen,
You right?
I would love like look again. No shade to Brock Bowers. Brock Bowers, great player, right? But I don't know who's gonna throw him the football.
Right.
How
I
you think
mean,
how you think Devontae Adams feeling right now?
Devontae right now is probably doing the same. This dumb motherfucker ain't trade up and get this motherfucker Michael Penix, man. This dumbass fucking Falcons, man. Punk
That what
ass motherfuckers.
that's what I'm saying.
Fuck
Hey,
them
listen,
dirty ass players.
that's what I'm saying. But I say this though. There were 5 picks that I did like. That's what I kind of wrote it down, right? So I liked Falcons getting Penix. I like
Mm,
us getting, I mean, I'll BS aside. I like us getting Brock Bowers because
yeah.
many people's eyes, position aside, many people felt that Brock Bowers was the best player in the draft. And, the last time we were talking, individuals were talking like, hey, look, it's like they're getting fatigued because of how good Brock Bowers is. They want a reason
Mhm,
for him to drop. He was the only tight end drafted in the first round. You know what I mean?
mhm.
So he was that. I love Xavier Worthy. Again, he's going to a rival, but I loved Xavier Worthy going to the Kansas City Chiefs because I feel like Xavier Worthy, of all the speed receivers that have come out over the years,
Come on,
I
Buffalo.
think I think Xavier Worthy is the one that can actually catch the football.
You
So
know, and he went to dang on good organization in the Kansas City Chiefs and the Buffalo Bills, y'all the AFC rival. Y'all gonna give them they hate everybody else so much. They said we gonna give it to the Chiefs again. We gonna give the Chiefs another one. But the Chiefs had to reach for that because oh boy, he like racing cars in the streets, dummy. Dummy.
so
He gonna
um,
race car. Like what's his name that was doing that? He was from the Chiefs, right?
you talking about yeah,
Yeah.
Rasheed
Out
Rice.
there racing cars and you and that. Like, why? Like, what boy, what is wrong? Like, don't y'all got enough money to just like, could you imagine that? Like, okay, so hypothetically speaking, the fans' point of view just is worldwide, nation, with everybody watching, blah blah blah. We getting this, we getting that, and we got money. And you think I'm gonna race you in a Corvette on a block that's in front of the house? Cut? No, bro. We about to go by the speedway that they don't use because there's speedways everywhere, every little town. In small town USA, I guarantee you they got a speedway. They ain't got but one spot stoplight, but I bet you there's a speedway somewhere around that mother. And you know what I mean? And you can go and ask the owner, like, man, let me and my partner, let me give you, you know what I mean, a quick $2,000. Let me and my partners come in here for the night and race our cars, drink some beers. You know what I'm saying? Like that would have been a responsible thing to do. I mean, he got $1 million contract, right? I mean, but I don't know what people be thinking sometimes, like, and it don't make sense. But I really like what the Philadelphia Eagles did in the draft. And by everybody needing offensive players and offensive building offensive lines, just like we did, and we went and got Zach. I'm just finding out that we got Zach Frazier from West Virginia. Looking at it now, great pickup. That center, great pickup. Great pickup. I thought we would probably go after Drake Nugent, honestly, from Michigan, but I like him too. He's a dog too. They both got that attitude and that tenacity that I like. But Philadelphia taking Quinyon Mitchell and getting Cooper DeJean was probably is the best to me right now. The two best pickups ever. They just got two cornerbacks. I believe they got two all pro cornerbacks for the low and rookies. They're going to perform. And arguably, bro, we can sit here. I honestly believe, bro, when we did our mock that we had Quinyon Mitchell and like Cooper DeJean like being in the top three corners, right? I mean, I think I
Cooper.
did.
No, Quinyon was my Quinyon was my number one corner.
But
If
who
I
was your number two behind Quinyon?
my number two behind Quinyon,
Mm-hmm. Wiggins?
I think I had Nate Wiggins.
You had Wiggins? Okay. Okay. So, but I mean, Cooper DeJean, I think Cooper DeJean, I mean, they right there though. But if
Yeah,
right after Nate Wiggins, if you can't have Nate Wiggins, who was you gonna take? Cooper DeJean, probably, right?
yeah. And
That's I like.
Speaking of Nate Wiggins, I loved him going to the Rams. I mean to the Ravens. I
I
mean,
did. I didn't.
I know you didn't, but hey, listen, they got somebody to get right physical with George Pickens. So I mean, I like that for them. I like that for him, and like I said, I like that Rome, was able to go to the Bears.
Oh
Like
yeah, I
I said,
like that pick.
the picks that I didn't like, the number one is obvious, Caleb Williams to the Bears.
Yeah.
Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals, not because I dislike Marvin Harrison. It's just that I just don't feel like he'll be maximized at the Cardinals.
What?
And then I'm not, and I put Drake May on here to
Ooh.
to the Patriots just because I know they don't have any weapons.
Yeah, I
First
thought they
weapon,
would go after neighbors for sure.
the first weapon they went to get is Jalen Polk. So I mean, Polk is a nice guy, a nice receiver, but A.D. Mitchell was still on the board. Troy Franklin still on the board. So I mean, I may like that pick a little bit later, depending on what they do. But I'm not taking Jalen Polk as the first receiver off the board as my first weapon for my rookie quarterback. I'm going with Troy Franklin. I'm going with A.D. Mitchell,
Mm-hmm.
someone like that. I'm not. I mean, McMillan was still there, but I think McMillan missed some time this year, so maybe some of his medicals may have not checked off. But I'm
Mm-hmm.
not taking Jalen Polk for 4.52. No,
So do you think so? Do you like? How would you? So what if the Patriots would have said, okay, we taking Malik Neighbors or Marvin Harrison with the third pick, Malik Neighbors, Marvin Harrison, one of them three, one of them two, and then they took like a Spencer Rattler second round, third round pick.
Well, I mean, honestly, like I said, I don't like the Drake May pick right now. But
Mm-hmm.
to be honest with you, it's a plethora of receivers. So I think this probably is the best scenario to get Drake May. But when I saw that the first weapon they got, because obviously they drafted before we got on the show, and they picked Jalen Polk, and I said, yeah, I'm most definitely putting Drake May's name down because y'all could have got Troy Franklin. And oh yeah, and we still got that bet. We still got that bet. I think I forgot.
Oh, that bet. Oh,
Yeah.
is that why you wanted to come on late? Is that why you?
No, 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 no. No, I'm
Yeah,
just saying. I'm trying to look at it's 4 more picks
4 more picks
for
before
the
the
third
third round.
for the third round. And this,
Dang.
hey,
But
hey,
why you
hey,
think they just brought out
hey,
Barry Sanders? They about to take a running back
hey,
right
hey,
now.
hey.
They about to take
You
a
better,
running back
hey,
right
listen,
now.
hey, you better put the icy hot on your arms. Whatever you gotta do, get them ready. Cause hey, what Drake told Kendrick, hey, I
Here
need
it is
50.
right now. Why
I
would
need
they have Barry Sanders? They got Barry Sanders
Barry been
presenting the pick.
Barry been there.
It's
They not about to tip. You think they tipping Barry off like that? They
oh,
sitting
that's
back.
a cornerback. They took a cornerback.
I
They
know
took a
they did.
quarterback.
I
Edith
know it.
Ray Shaw Jr. They took EJ from
I know they did.
Missouri. Hey,
I know they do it. Hey, 3 more.
Baltimore, San Fran,
Oh, no, none of them need no running back.
and who else?
I'm trying to see it because
It's only 4 more picks.
in the third round. I mean the second round.
You said after the third round.
No, I said no. I said it would not be a running back drafted before the third round. That's what I
Uh,
said.
We gotta roll the pick. We gotta roll the tape. Roll the tape. I don't believe.
That's what I said. I said there would not be a running back drafted before the third round.
Yeah, that's what you said. I owe you 50, dog.
I mean, you still got time. Look, I'm looking at who they got best available.
Ain't
They don't
nobody
even let me see.
best available. That's what you looking at. Best available. That's what you think they doing right now.
I'm looking at CBS right
It
now.
seemed like teams are
Trey
picking
Benson.
strategically.
Listen, Trey Benson is the best available running back right now, according to CBS. They got him at 12. I'm trying to think. Again, it ain't over yet, but
I mean, I don't know how many
it
more
ain't
picks
looking
is left in
good.
this round.
It ain't looking good. Let me see.
Well, let me hurry up and get up off this line real
Who the
quick,
next?
man.
Who the next
Hey,
couple? Who the next team? Let me see. Let me see. Hurry up. Cycle through one more time. It may have to cycle through 2 more times.
I don't know, man.
Oh, never mind. I
No
gotta
man, what?
I gotta give you 50. My bad. I just saw it.
Oh, you got to give me 50, huh?
Yeah, I gotta give you 50 because the Panthers drafted
Who?
Jonathan Brooks.
Oh, the Panthers went and got
Number 46.
Jonathan Brooks.
Yeah.
Mm.
Man, man
Hmm.
got an AC.
I didn't even see that. See, so I thank you for being honest, but I knew the running back was coming off the list. I knew somebody was gonna go grab one of them. I thought Blake Corum was gonna be the
Hey,
first.
look,
That's what you should have said. Which running back you think will come out the first before the first? I
I,
thought Blake Corum would do it, but
I had Brooks as my top running back anyway.
yeah.
There you go, right there, Jonathan Brooks, 46 to the Panthers running back. No, but I ain't think he was gonna get drafted because he tore an ACL.
I
Oh
ain't
well, I'll give you 50 next week then.
next week.
I gotta get my all, I gotta get my all together, man.
No, get that icy hot.
Bruh,
Get that icy hot ready right now. Ain't that what he just
bruh.
said to me, y'all?
Hey,
Get that icy hot.
let me
Nah,
let
get
me tell
that
you what's
thing,
so funny
man.
right
Get
now.
that,
No,
man. Get the icy hot.
let me tell you what's funny. CBS is literally showing Jonathan Brooks highlights right now.
Oh man, yeah, go ahead, man. Bust
Bruh,
them out, man.
bruh,
Drop it, give it 50, man. Drop it, give it 50.
I got you next week. Hey, we're gonna start the show off with that. Cause I gotta get the camera and everything.
You heard what he said, y'all. Hey, I'm clipping that out. I'm clipping that out and I'm putting that up too. I'm putting that up too. I'm clipping that out and I'm gonna put it up too. We're gonna start the show off with Shad doing 50 push-ups because a running back got picked before the third round was out. All right, so, but man, hey y'all, man, I appreciate y'all coming up here and kicking it with us, man.
Pick that man. That man got an ACL, man.
Yeah, I thought Blake Corum would come out. You was better off having me pick the running back that was gonna come out before the third round, but we just went all the way around. I mean, hey yo, look, and you honored the bet, man. I mean, I would have found out eventually.
They still took my Jonathan Brooks.
Hey man, thank y'all for coming and kicking with us on the Fast Point of View, man. Watch it on the replay. It is okay to replay, man. Make sure y'all like, share, subscribe to our channels, man. Appreciate y'all. Much love out there, man. Y'all have a blessed night. Peace. He honored it.
Want to see Truck and Chubby live with co-host Shad? Tune in at Fans Point of View, Saturday, 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 3:30 p.m. Pacific Time. But in the meantime, in between time, enjoy the content. Don't forget to hit your notification bell for all updates. Thank you for watching.